Hey there, this is Jenny from Southern Savers, and we are going to chat all about stockpiling tonight. I am struggling a little bit in getting the Q&A to come up. Let's see what we can get. But as we go through tonight, let's see. We're going to start with the basics on stockpiling and then go from there and try to handle your questions. So hopefully we'll get to everything. If you do have a question, make sure to enter it in the Q&A side of things, and we will get there. So as we go through just the basics on building your stockpile, and also as we start, please ask any questions that are all over the board. I don't really care what you throw at me. We will get wherever we need to get. I can see your questions, but tonight I can't choose them for some reason. That's the joys of Google, that sometimes things work, sometimes things don't. So tonight, it's not Q&A. We'll see what we get. The more I search for it, but I can at least see your questions. So to start with, on your stockpile, we have to do this side of couponing. You can't just go into the store and buy what's on sale. You have to add to that I went into the store, I bought what was on sale, and I bought enough of it to last me until it was on sale again. So I can't, just go in, see that pasta is free today, and buy enough pasta to last me 1 week. I have to last me enough pasta until it's back on sale again, which is not 40 boxes. So as I honestly don't even like the word stockpile, because people start to imagine that we're, no longer parking in our garage and we're going to have a bomb shelter behind the house. That's not what we're talking about. We need enough for 6 weeks. That's it. Everything will come on sale again in the near future. It's not really, really far away, I promise. Just enough for 6 weeks. So as you get into all of that, I go in today. What are some examples? Let's see. The upcoming Publix ad has frozen super pretzels on sale, and they'll be 10 cents after coupons. I don't need to go in and buy all the super pretzels that are in there. I can't even get them in my freezer. I just need to get enough for 6 weeks. For me, that would be maybe one. I've never even eaten them before. Maybe for you, you want to have a tailgate party or something like that, so you get a few more, but I don't need enough for the next 9 months. They do come back on sale. Super pretzel, frozen pretzels are going to be on sale again in another 6, maybe 8 weeks tops. So enough for that time period. And that's kind of a random example, but think of taco shells and pickles and things like that. How much do you really need those products in a 6-week time span? For most families, it's probably 1, maybe 2. It's not a ton. Before we move on to questions, there are some things that are very holiday specific, and that is the top question that I wish I could click on. But Jennifer's question is, what are the best items to stockpile during Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and post-Christmas sales? And that's one big thing to remember, is that with stockpiling and buying what's on sale, we actually don't see some items on sale every 6 weeks. There are some examples of items that only come on sale around major holidays. So they come on sale at Christmas, Thanksgiving, those types of times, but not any other time period outside of holidays. So some key items, you already really know what they are: spiral cut ham, a canned pumpkin, things that we only see on sale around holidays. Grocery-wise, I need to grab enough of those to get me through until it's another holiday. With that, you may not consider these items, but baking items also typically follow holidays. But we see one little extra bubble with baking items that we don't see with other holiday items. So we see baking items on sale pretty much all fall. starts mid-September, really early October, runs all through Christmas, and then we see baking items on sale again around Easter, a tiny bubble around July 4th, and then nothing again until the fall. So be ready for that. When I mean baking items like sugar, flour, yeast, anything that you would use to be doing baking in the kitchen, even sometimes spices, but a lot of times we will see at least house brand spices go on sale, buy one get one, or pretty good prices. It may not be the national brands, but we will see some general spices go on sale. So that is a great question. In terms of non-grocery, to kind of hit on that question for Black Friday or post-Christmas sales, we definitely want to stock up on gift closet type items, which is like a whole nother stockpile if you think about it. But post-Christmas, my favorite time to do some shopping, when Target does their huge toy clearance, it's usually like January 7th to January 10th, they put toys on sale 50 to 60% off, sometimes 70% off. Go crazy and have a closet, stuff them under your bed, do whatever you have to do. We're talking about toys that are $2 or $3 that are regularly like 12. So tuck them away so that you can have, in a sense, Christmas next year handled, or birthday parties for the next 9 months handled. Those would be the big things to grab around those events. Black Friday, if you're looking for deals, that's electronics, but we're not going to see a lot of clearance or closeout deals to grab then. Okay, so we have the concept of a stockpile. Jessica says, my husband can't handle the stockpile, and I only bought enough for 6 weeks. We don't have much storage, and he's not up for storing it under our bed. Any suggestions on how to turn him around? That's kind of funny because honestly, it is a lot of times. I remember my husband when I first started couponing. I'd walk in the door with like 5 boxes of cereal, which, mind you, we have at that point we had 3 children. He'd be like, seriously, 5 boxes of cereal? What is up, Jenny? And explaining to him this cereal is regularly $4, $5 a box, full price. And I walked out the door with each box for 75 cents. Kind of giving him the math, Jessica, is what won him over, making him realize I could have gone to the store and bought all 5 of these boxes and paid easily $20 for them, full price, but instead I paid maybe 4. No, he's hooked at that point. Once he sees how much it's saving, what I would recommend, I don't know what your storage options are for a stockpile, for your stockpile. I know you're saying space is tight, but let's get creative as to where you're putting them, because not everything needs to be in the house. So if you have a garage or even attic space, and I know that seems weird, we're talking about something that gets hot, but cereal's not going to melt. Cereal's going to be fine. Let's take it, let's put it in a garbage bag so it's got an extra line of defense from bugs and whatnot, not the garbage bag closed around them, and let's tuck them away. I would recommend not putting them too hard to get because you're going to forget that you have them, or at least leave yourself notes of, I stuck this, I stuck 5 boxes of this here, just so you know where to go and look for it. But hopefully that will help. And cereal, on the same token, is kind of a bad example because cereal's on sale every week. Different types. Obviously, if you have someone in your family that will only eat Frosted Mini Wheats, I can't do that. But if you're cool with just trading up whatever brand is on sale right now, then we can really go by getting just a couple boxes every week that we're already in the store every week, just getting those few boxes versus buying a ton at a time, and maybe that would work. A few other options for stockpile. A lot of folks, the big problem is really refrigerator space. So get creative because not everything needs to be in the refrigerator. Many of the items can be frozen. So I would encourage you to look into that. You can freeze butter, you can freeze cream cheese, sour cream. Obviously, some of these items won't be so great for just using plain. I need to use them in baking, like sour cream and cheese. They don't come out quite the same. Milk, cheese, regular cheese, eggs. You can freeze all of that stuff. Get it out of your refrigerator, make some room if we're having issues in that department, which a lot of folks do when we see really great deals on cream cheese, and you're thinking, great, I have 10 of them in the freezer because they were all free. let's freeze them and save them for when we have some holiday baking and we actually need some cream cheese for other things. So hopefully that will help a little bit as well. Let's see. Going through everything. Sorry, it's a little tricky tonight since the actual Q&A section didn't come up right. So I'm trying hard to make sure I don't miss anybody's questions. Diva asks, how would you recommend storing flour, sugar, so bugs and air can't get to them? I've heard someone using containers. I don't know which ones to buy. First off, we've only had this problem one time in our house with bugs getting into food, and they really came from something that we bought in the grocery store. So in terms of a stockpile, this is really your worst nightmare, because once they're in your pantry, getting rid of them is next to impossible without just throwing so much away. So when you're buying pasta, flour, all of those items in a grocery store, you need to be very observant as to what you're buying. It's like we can't let you come in and taint what we already have. And for us to have a feeling it was a box of pasta that we bought that came in and just all of a sudden we had bugs in every box of pasta that we had, which makes your heart kind of sad when it was all free just to have to get rid of it all. A lot of folks store their sugars and other items in the freezer. Older folks love to store flour in the freezer. That's kind of where they grew up putting it. So you can always go that route if you're really, really worried about bugs getting into items, or going and double bagging. So become a little Ziploc crazy person, get the big gallon storage bags, put it in a Ziploc bag and then in another Ziploc bag and zip it closed, and that should also handle it pretty well. They don't like to go through plastic, and double bagging it's going to keep any bit of irritation from creating a hole that goes all the way through. So that's where I would probably have you go first. Diva also says there are items I see that don't go on sale often, non-seasonal items. Ovaltine was one of these. How do you know how much of those to purchase when you're unsure and when you'll be able to get it again? Ovaltine falls into a seasonal category that you may not realize, and it's funny because we don't always think of drinking it hot, but any hot cocos or cocoa mixes tend to only go on sale in the fall and the winter. So along that lines, you're going to see it come on sale starting mid-September, and it's going to be on sale pretty regularly until late March. So just be ready for that time period. All hot cocos, hot teas, we just see better prices during cooler seasons than we do during the summer. On the flip side, we don't see really great deals on ice cream and popsicles in the winter. The winter being January through March, just in case you're kind of curious as to when that pops up and when that is. Okay. To kind of go on for a few more things, charity is one thing I want you to think about too with your stockpile. So a lot of folks, when they're shopping, you don't grab things that you won't use, and logically that makes sense. But if things are super, super cheap, I encourage you to grab them and stick them in a box somewhere. So have a box that just lives in your pantry or lives somewhere, your shoe closet, wherever you want to stick it. And as you're putting away your groceries, if you didn't get it for your family, just stick it in the box. And when the box is full, donate the box. There's so much that will cost you next to nothing to do this with that you might as well. And I mean, just some examples to throw at you this particular week. You've got a massive amount of cosmetics at Rite Aid that are free, mascaras and eyeliners, all kinds of things, just completely free, perfect to donate to battered women's shelters and just all kinds of organizations that are going to be very thankful for them. We also see lots of great deals on diapers. We've got lotion this week at Target that's 4 cents a bottle. Do you need 4 bottles? Probably not. Donate it. Donate some of the extra once you feel like you have enough for your family. Another stockpile thing as well, and speaking of lotion, that kind of reminded me to go back up. is in terms of the drugstores. And that is, folks always ask, well, how long is the sales cycle in a drugstore? Does it follow a 6-week cycle as well? And it doesn't. So be ready for that. It actually follows a much shorter cycle. We tend to see brands come on sale once a month. So I see Pampers once a month, Huggies once a month, Charmin and Bounty once a month. So if those are your brands as they rotate through, you just know that you need to get enough for 1 month. We also tend to see really great deals on each type of product. So we'll see one really awesome razor deal once a month, one really awesome shampoo, soap, etc. kind of deal once a month. Right now we've got Dial body wash and Dial bar soap. It's like 13 cents a package at CVS this week. That's a great deal. I really only need to get enough for a month in theory, because I'm going to see a ton of other deals come up as well next month. To be honest, I don't even shop the drugstores on an incredibly routine basis all year long. I tend to shop them for a month, going in once a week for a month. And then I take a month, sometimes even 2 months off. You just don't need to. You've got enough toothpaste to last you 6 months from 1 month of shopping. And that's the joys of a personal care stockpile. In terms of organization for that, I honestly have our personal care supplies organized better than I have our pantry supplied organized, because it's important to me to be able to find what we need and to know how much we have in the personal care section, a little bit more than food. And I know that may seem crazy, but food items, it's easier for me to spot a sale or to run to a grocery store really quick and pick something up, kind of hitting the grocery store that has what I need on sale right now if we accidentally ran out. Personal care supplies doesn't always work that way. It's where my husband tends to have more brand loyalties. It's where I might tend to have more brand loyalties. So I just like to kind of keep close tabs to make sure we're set. And the other issue, I don't know if anyone else is like me, but for some reason I can never get shampoo and conditioner to run out together. And so if I don't keep tabs on it, I end up with 10 shampoos and no conditioners, or the other way around. It's just my small plight in life. But that is one section where I would recommend that you have at least some organization handled so that you know what you've got, and you can know when to grab or when to step back into drugstore deals if you've stepped out for a little bit. On that note, Michelle has a question. I started couponing and going to CVS. How long till the magic red coupon center starts giving me more coupons than the ones advertised? When does it become magical? So if you just started, Michelle, it usually takes about 3 or 4 weeks on a brand new CVS card for it to give you the deals that you're wanting. So just give it that kind of that month. If you are just starting back, though, and you have a very old CVS card that you're starting back with, odds are your CVS card is kind of what I would call dead. And let's truly start with a brand new CVS card. So get one from the cashier, start over fresh, so that you're not missing any of that from just that card almost being turned off in their system. Give the new card a month, and it should love you. I have a card that I maybe activated about a year ago, and it's still a very happy card. But when I first got it to kind of kick in with the coupons that would print would be taller than some of my children. So hopefully you can get it to kind of love you that much again. Let's see. I'd like to know how to stockpile toothpaste, toilet paper, and diapers. Tina, that is really a drugstore question. So we're going to see toothpaste and all of your toiletry items on sale all the time in the drugstores, free in most drugstores. And I don't think you need to go to 3 different drugstores, by the way. You're going to have enough free toothpaste from one drugstore that you're not really going to need to go to 97 drugstores to do all of that. Just one drugstore and you'll be good. But it is shopping once a week and getting all of the deals each time as they come around. So it's not shopping once a month. It's not shopping even every other week. It's keeping those rewards going so that I can earn rewards this week, buying all the free cosmetics and Rite Aid or whatever it is, and use those rewards to buy the free toothpaste next week. That's the concept of the drugstores anyway. But we're going to get the free toothpaste and all the toiletries through that. Diapers and toilet paper for me are also drugstore purchases. We see really great deals on diapers in each drugstore, each brand, at least once a month. So when you see them come along, we grab them now. I don't know how old your little one is, Tina, but in all honesty, if you're starting to stockpile diapers after a little one is born, you're kind of having to play catch up, and it's very hard to do that. So to play catch up after they're born, you will need to shop multiple drugstores so that you can get ahead of them. If I see Huggies or our brand or whatever your brand is, I see a great Huggies deal, I want to go to that drugstore and I want to get that deal. If it's then at Walgreens the week after that, I want to get it at Walgreens, whatever I need to do so that we can kind of get ahead and be fully stocked. For my kiddos, my youngest is 1, almost 2, and before she was born, we probably had 35 packs of diapers tucked away before, that's what she came home to from the hospital. So now she is in a size 3. I've not ever had a kid get to a size 5. We have tiny little babies. She's in a size 3. She's ready to potty train. I'm not ready to deal with that. But we actually have 4s and 5s that we will probably never use, and we will end up just returning them. Always save your receipts, or giving them to friends who also have babies, so you can go any way you want. But that's fun to be so far ahead that we're going to potty train, and I still don't really need to buy you diapers. So hopefully you can get there. Toilet paper, also drugstore deals, and thankfully the drugstore deals for toilet paper tend to involve you buying 2 or 3 packs. So you kind of walked in, you grabbed the toilet paper deal, and you stocked up at the same time without really having to think about it. Tina, I don't know what other grocery stores you have, but we are seeing really great toilet paper deals in Bilo lately with fuel perks paired in. I know Charmin and Bounty are on sale right now for super cheap when you pair in the fuel perks and coupons and competitor coupons. So if you have a Bilo, maybe a grocery store purchase there, but everywhere else it would be drugstore for me. Brittany asks, what are some of the best items to stockpile? Honestly, Brittany, it's anything that you purchase. So to kind of go through one last basic on stockpile, the concept to save the most money is that I go in today, I see everything that's on sale, use the list that's on Southern Savers. Remember that anything that's on the list is a good price. We only want to buy something if it's 40% off or more. And if it's not 40%, kind of stand down. It will be cheaper. So I go in, I see that it's 40% off. I want to buy enough of that item to last 6 weeks. So if I'm first starting out, I have no stockpile. The very first week I go in, I buy 6 weeks worth of anything that's on sale and 1 week worth of what I have to have. There are things that you're out of, you haven't shopped this way before, so 1 week worth of that have to have section. Next week, go in, get 6 weeks worth of what's on sale, 1 week worth of what you have to have. And each week that have to have section is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller until finally you are just completely stocked. Come 6 weeks, you've continued to do that. You own the grocery store. You have it all. So that's kind of the fun part of slowly stockpiling, is that the goal is so that I don't run out of something. It's if my husband comes and says I want chili, I don't have to panic and go to the store and pay full price for anything that would be in that chili. I have it all in the pantry. So in answering your question, we basically want to stockpile anything that we use on a regular basis in our household. For us, that ends up being spaghetti sauce, canned tomatoes, canned vegetables, cereals, flours and sugars, and rice. I mean, just your true staple items for your pantry, but also anything that you see pop up that's kind of expensive. So recently in Publix, we saw, if I hadn't tried to think of it, sun-dried tomatoes in a little jar. Go buy one, get one. We don't really ever have that in the house, but I do occasionally have recipes that call for it. And then thinking about it, you know what, it's buy one, get one. No, I don't have a coupon for it, but now I can stick it in the pantry, and when a recipe calls for it, I actually have it. And I don't have to pay the $4 a jar. I got it for $2 a jar. So that's the concept of why I would want to do that on so many items. Space becomes your limiting factor. So if space is a huge issue, you stockpile on the items you use the most. Because in theory, if I'm using them and I'm running out of them the most, then they're really the ones that are going to cost me the most money because I'm constantly going in and paying full price for them. So if I'm truly limited on space, I need to sit down and kind of map out what are the key items that we're always buying, and let's try to get those on sale and stockpile on those so that we're good. Deneen asks, I stopped utilizing Saving Star because I did not receive credit for several items I purchased. However, I'd like to attempt to use it again. What do I do to prevent this from happening in the future? Well, first, Deneen, they have really great customer service. So if you didn't get credit for something that you know you bought, you should always contact them. Save the receipt, because all you'll need to do is just read them some numbers off the receipt. They'll kind of pull the transaction history, and they will credit your account. I've done that on at least 2 times in the last probably 4 years that they've missed things. They also have a new app version, Deneen, that you actually submit receipts on your phone. So after you've gone to the store, you take pictures of your receipt and you upload them. It's not for all their stores. Most of their stores, it's still directly linked to the card that you would normally scan and buy low, or CVS, or wherever you were. But this allows you to use them at Walmart and Target. So maybe if your frustration was in that it's not applying them correctly, then you just try the receipts to start with. You say, you know what, I'm just going to handle ones where I know I've uploaded a receipt and I check off what I know I bought, and see if you can kind of rebuild trust by going through their new system and just using the new app version. Where can I find a price list to know what a good stockpile is for shampoo? Well, Brittany, I'll tell you, free is a really great price for shampoo. That's my go-to price. Probably not what you're wanting, though. What I would recommend, though, is that you head to the item search that is on Southern Savers. And you'll see on the right-hand side of Southern Savers a big blue bar that says search by item or brand. Click on that and type in whatever you're looking for. You can type in just shampoo if you want, or if you have a brand. Like, I love Clear shampoo. I can type in Clear scalp and hair, or whatever you want, and hit search. That'll tell you everything that's on sale right now. But in terms of creating a price history, in the item search, you can actually put in a date from the past. I would recommend not anything greater than 3 months, or it's going to kill our computer server as it tries to get all of that data for you. But maybe I put in something that was 6 weeks ago. I'm going to see every sale that we've seen on Clear shampoo in the last 6 weeks. And I'm going to have a really clear idea of where it keeps falling price-wise, so that I know when to buy it. So if you have a brand loyalty, that is a huge help for you. It's your own online searchable price data to use on anything that you want. So that's where I would push you first. There is a printable price list that is on Southern Savers as well. If you click in the very top on the Learn to Coupon page, there's a download PDF price list that you can print out. It doesn't have brands on it because, in all honesty, having brand loyalties is kind of a bad call. It's going to cost you money. If you're stuck with Clear shampoo and you don't purchase the free Pantene, you're the one that paid more. So the price list that you can download from the Learn to Coupon page has no brands, but just keep in mind that it's all national products. They all tend to hit about the same prices. How long does it normally take to get a good stockpile going? It's about 6 weeks. I have to see each week of a sales cycle come through. Now, I mean, 3 weeks in, you're still going to have a bunch of stuff, but that 6 week mark is when you've almost seen everything, minus our holiday and seasonal items. You've seen 90% of the store come on sale in that 6 week mark, to where you're really, really getting stocked on most of the items that you use on a regular basis. So just sticking with it, and sticking with it hard for 6 weeks, you're going to be set quite nicely by the end of that. I've done a lot of Procter & Gamble coupons and gift card combos at Target. It seems like I'm saving a lot, but do you think CVS has better deals? Kelly, I'm just a CVS girl, so it's kind of hard for me. I do think that they have better deals, and it's usually because I'm going to take CVS Extra Care Bucks and I'm going to turn around and I'm going to use those on the deal that I'm buying, and I'm going to get more of them. I'm going to use coupons. I'm going to use store coupons. And because I'm paying with their pretend money and they're going to give me back more pretend money, I really paid next to nothing for the items that I'm grabbing. The problem that I see on Target deals is that the reward that they give you, while I could use that gift card to pay for another gift card deal, and that would work, the problem is that their reward is never equal to the amount of the reward that CVS would give you. So for example, this week in Target, I buy 3 Always or Tampax products at $6.99 a piece, and I get a $5 extra care buck. In CVS, that same deal would probably be a buy $15 and get a $4 or a $5 extra care buck. In reality, I had to pay over $20 to get the 5 in Target, where I'm getting 5 for the 15 in CVS. So hopefully that helps. It's the reward value to the total purchase requirement. And in Target, it's usually crazy high. Diapers, for instance, in Target. Folks love Target's gift card diaper deals. I used to leave them off of the matchups, and people would complain, so I'll put them on for you, but they're really bad. Buy 2 huge boxes of Pampers or Huggies at $30 a box and get a $10 gift card. You just paid $60 in diapers to get a $10 reward, where in CVS, I buy $30 worth of diapers and I get a $10 reward. That's double what I would get in Target. I buy $60 worth of diapers in CVS, I get a $20 reward in theory when you look at it in terms of that math. So that's where the drugstores win for me. Hopefully that answers your question. Do you use a clipping service to get the coupons to help you build a stockpile? Annette, I would say most people do not need to. To buy enough for 6 weeks, you really just need 2 Sunday inserts and printable coupons. Because most of the things that you're buying, you're not buying more than 6 of. With printable coupons, I do have 2 computers. I have a laptop and my husband has a laptop. We only have 1 printer, but I can print 4 coupons between those 2 computers. So I have 4 printables and I have 2 inserts at that point. That's 6. On most products, that's plenty to get us through a 6-week period of time. Now, that said, I do use an insert service right now because I kind of gave up fighting with my paper guy to deliver the paper on a regular basis. So I have a standing subscription of inserts that comes from an insert delivery service, which is, in case you're curious, SundayCouponInserts.com is where I get mine. Their minimum order is 4. I don't really need 4. I think the more inserts that you have, the more time this takes. You have to cut them. You have to keep up with them. You have to, whatever you're going to do with them, you've got to organize them in some way. 4 is a lot for a normal family who's just kind of going at this in a normal way. So I would recommend, if you choose to do that insert subscription service, that you have that with a friend or a couple friends. They have a 6 and a 10 level as well if you wanted more. But you can use one. I just don't know that you need to for most folks because we don't need enough for 3 months. We just need enough for a month and a half. How do you go about stockpiling laundry detergent? Samantha, this is another one where when we buy the right kind of deal in the drugstores, all of a sudden to buy the deal, you just stockpiled. So for us, for an example, 2 weeks ago, CVS had all detergent on sale for like 62 cents a bottle, but it required buying 8 bottles to get that price. Well, we just did it. That's way more than I need for 6 weeks. But at 62 cents a bottle, I'm very happy to do that. And thankfully, my washing machine has one of those drawers underneath it. So it's just filled with laundry detergent. But that's how we end up doing it, is usually kind of finding the right deal that actually requires purchasing a larger amount to get the deal. How do you work around buying multiple items at the drugstore when they limit the extra care bucks or the register rewards to 1 or 2 per card? I actually stick with the limits. Very rarely for us do we need more than the limit. So, for instance, sometimes the free toothpaste, it's a limit of 1, but there'll be another free toothpaste next week and another one the week after. So it's not like I need to get 3 right now. I'll just grab some more in a few more weeks. Diapers was the hardest for me when we first started this, which was almost 8 years ago, over 8 years ago now. My twins were less than 1. And I'm in CVS. I'm learning diaper deals, which back then they were even better than they are now. And it's hard with twins. I was behind, as I mentioned earlier. If you're trying to start this and they're already using the diapers, you can't win. And I had twins. So I'll confess on that one. When there was a really great diaper deal, I called in my mom and I used her card so that I could do a second set of them. And another way to do it, if you're really needing a lot of a product, would be to shop multiple drugstores. So if I've got a family of 10 people and I need all the free toothpaste there is, then I kind of shop around. We're going to get the Walgreens and the CVS deals, or all 3 if you really, really need to go there. But usually just 1. Once you do this enough, you're going to have a ton. If you haven't already, Denard, I would hop onto the YouTube page for Southern Savers, which is youtube.com/Southern Savers. And I've done 4 weeks in Rite Aid and 4 weeks in CVS, where every week I share with what we bought and then how we use those rewards to buy the next things and so on and so forth. And at the end, even if you don't watch all the in-between weeks, at the end, I kind of line it all up on the dining room table. I've kept it in a box for the month just so I could do that at the end without accidentally using something. But I line it all up, and you'll be pretty amazed with 1 month in a drugstore. I want to say the Rite Aid one, we ended up with like 8 sticks of deodorant, 7 shampoos. I mean, there's a ton of stuff there by the end of the month. It would be diapers that probably most families would want more of. You're going to just have to hit another drugstore to get enough of those items. How often do the CVS coupons come in email? When I started, I got 20% off. The second week, I didn't get any. When should I expect them? CVS coupons come every Thursday morning. So if you're not spotting them, give it another Thursday. Try this week. If you don't see them again the second week, check your spam folders. If you still don't see them, then I would hop onto CVS.com and I would try to give them maybe a secondary email and a different one to try, whether it's your husband's or something. See if they'll come through that route, but you should be getting them every Thursday morning. So this week we got 25% off our total purchase. Last week we got a 5 off 25. They just kind of rotate through. It goes 5 off 25, 20%, sometimes 25% and 30%. Those are the 4 that we see the most of, but should get them every single week. Let's see. Are stores like Publix and Bilo on different sales cycles? That's a great question. Yes, they are. So every store is on its own kind of sales cycle. Now you will see general like product groups all on sale around the same time because they kind of follow trends. So we're going into tailgate season. We're going to see a lot of chips and dips and salsas and whatnot for the next few weeks at all the stores, but those brands may be different. So Publix may have Frito-Lay on sale for the first week, while Bilo has Cape Cod or all the other various potato chip brands that are out there. So you'll kind of follow your store's cycle. And Diva, that's also why I tell most folks you don't need to shop at every store, because everything will come on sale at the store that you're shopping at. So for me to go to Publix just to get this kind of cereal that's buy one, get one, well, if I'm a regular Bilo shopper, it'll be buy one, get one in a couple more weeks at my store. So don't kind of go crazy trying to hit them all. Just wait. The sales will come to your store, just maybe a couple weeks behind where the other store had it, but not long. It's not too hard to wait for. Tanya asked, love to see some pictures of your stockpile. You know what, that was my plan today, but currently for me to show you pictures of my pantry would require a flashlight. I asked my husband to change the light bulb in the pantry, and he didn't do it. So I can't even see anything. I actually tried to put marshmallow bits on top of spaghetti for dinner tonight because they were both in shake containers. Yeah, it wouldn't work tonight, but I will take some and I'll post some in a kind of a wrap-up Stockpile post for folks. I've gotten that question a lot. I just never really feel like I'm as organized as people want me to be. So it's like, I don't know, it's like taking a picture with no makeup on, but I'll do it just for you. I'm a Florida shopper, so Walmart BOGO matches and have all that. I never shop anywhere else besides the drugstores. Am I making a mistake doing that? Brittany, I'm guessing that you're saying that you shop at Walmart and the drugstores. I think you're doing fine with that. If you're doing, if you're truly price matching at the Walmart BOGO price, all of the deals around town, that's great because Publix isn't going to double your coupon anyway. You're missing out on some of the store matchups for Publix, but I've heard from a lot of Florida shoppers that their Walmarts are taking competitor coupons. So if your Walmart is, then you're doing great, and I would stick with it. But shopping Walmart for all of the deals around town and a drugstore in Florida is pretty good. You're going to do great with just those sales. So I don't know that you're making a huge mistake at all. You're probably saving some time. One thing I would not try, though, and I don't know if you have or not, but I wouldn't put too much effort into the new Walmart savings catcher that came out. In terms of Walmart in Florida, I think you're going to be really sad as to how that savings catcher works on not finding all the prices. For me, I've tested it 3 times now, and it's never gotten all the deals that I should have gotten. So if you're a Walmart shopper in Florida and you're already doing your homework, just do it. Just stick at the register and price match it all like you normally would versus letting their app not find all the deals that you would have found for yourself as it is. I've tried to shop at Buy Low, but they seem to have what I already have stocked from Publix the week before. Exactly. So that's kind of where I was saying, like, everything's going to come on sale just a couple weeks behind. And really, who's to say which store's behind? I don't know. In reality, they are all just a couple weeks off because it would really kill the brands. If you think about it from a brand perspective, if your product was only on sale in every store nationwide this week, but then you had no sales for the next 5, it just can't happen that way. So the brands are really the ones that rotate around through the grocery stores. And for you, if you're already shopping in Publix regularly, then you really don't need to grab the deals and Buy Low 2 weeks later. You're good. It's just kind of picking the store. I will say though, Diva, if you have both stores, Buy Low is really my favorite. Buy Low takes way more competitors than Publix. Because of all the competitors they take, they double higher than Publix. The deals actually end up being cheaper in Buy Low than they will be when they're on sale in Publix. Publix is still a great store, and 3 years ago I never would have said that about Buy Low. But just the fact that in my area Publix won't take a Target coupon, Buy Low will. Publix would never take a drugstore coupon, Buy Low will. It just kind of starts to be all these little check marks for Buy Low that Publix can't win on. So we do most of our shopping in Buy Low and grab a few items in Publix when we're in there. I'll be packing up my stockpiles of food and toiletries soon when I move, and I'm dreading it. Do you have any tips for making that go smoothly? Ellie, we did that a year and a half ago when we moved, and it was very tricky. In terms of stockpile, what I would actually recommend is that you pack up incredibly organized, especially your bathroom. My husband made so much fun of me. Now, my husband loves our bathroom stockpile and calls our bathroom CVS. But to pack our master bathroom took 8 boxes to unpack everything that was in the cabinets. And that's when you kind of realize, like, wow, we have a lot of stuff here just for the bathroom. But you just need to be super organized in that and not one of those, just shove it in the box. Because when it comes to unpacking it, it's nice to be able to know I don't have to get to that box right now. This box is all shampoo, conditioner, and soap, or whatever it may be, and I can just let it sit there while I deal with the ones that are more important, the ones that I know I need right now. We've got to have these as soon as we get there kind of boxes. Food-wise, I would also recommend, I don't know if you're, how far your move is. Ours was just across town. So we actually just made that a night. We moved the pantry in one night. We boxed it up and we unboxed it at the next location, and that way I didn't have the stress of not being able to find pantry boxes mixed in with other boxes. If you don't have that ability, I would recommend that your pantry boxes go on the truck last. Some folks would say first, but the problem there is that if I need to cook dinner sometime in the near future, that way I know where all my pantry boxes are. They're coming off the truck first at the new house, and I can put them, in one general spot versus they end up in all these other various locations, and I can work through them slowly. We probably had still been here a good 6 weeks before I finally got the spices and other random boxes unpacked, because I had the key things I needed, but I didn't need all these other random spices that we touch, once a month. So it'll still take you a little bit to get unpacked, but it's worth it. I had some folks tell me, why don't y'all just eat off of that and not move it? Like, no, that's our savings. It's worth it to pack it all up, and it's worth it to move it. So just put the effort into it. You'll be thankful when you get to the new house and you're not spending $300 on a grocery bill to get yourself kind of re-established. Just take the time and box it up. It'll all be good in the end. How do you stockpile when you're living in a motel? I live on my own. I have a 3-inch case and a zippered binder. I want a coupon, not just for me, but for my girlfriend, for makeup and such. That's a really tricky question. What I would say, again, Anthony, space-wise, is that you stockpile on the things that you use the most and or are the most expensive. So toiletry items are probably going to be key for you. Those are some incredibly expensive items, but if we can stockpile on the shampoos and the conditioners and soaps and razors, etc., and not pay for those items, that's a huge money saver. And saving more money for you to maybe not have that great of a stockpile on grocery items. The other real question is, living out of a motel, how much are you actually cooking there versus eating out? So if you don't need a lot of true, big key cooking items, then we're going to stockpile on the fast types of items, maybe cereals and granola bars and snack items that we can just kind of grab without needing to cook them. But it's up to you. Space-wise, focus on the things you use the most and are the most expensive until you run out of space, and we'll just deal with the various kind of little sundry items as they come along so that we're not living with food in the bed. Obviously, you eventually very much run out of space. Okay. Help on stockpiling living in a small town with no doubling, which really means a couple of things. First off, you have no doubling, but small town means you have very few grocery store choices. One thing that you said, though, Brittany, is that you live in Florida. So what I would recommend is that you do a lot of your shopping in Walmart, like we kind of mentioned earlier. And with Walmart, we're going to go in, we're going to price match all of the local stores. Walmarts will price match any store within a 50-mile radius. So you may live in a small town, but that's going to open up some stores that are way outside of your normal radius that I can bring in and price match right there in the store. Walmart in Florida price matches at the Walmart price for a buy one get one, not the Publix price, which is a huge savings. Think about cereal. Cereal Publix price maybe $4 a box. Walmart regular price maybe $2.98. To go in and buy a price match that BOGO at $2.98 means that you now have it at what? I can't even do my math that quick. $1.49 a box versus $2 a box. We haven't even used the coupons yet. So there are some great deals with that, and that's where I would push you. We're still going to buy as much as Walmart will let you. My Walmart only allows 4 of an item per transaction. So maybe it means that during a sale week, I do 2 transactions, or I do a transaction and my husband does a transaction behind us so that we could get 8 if that's what you needed for a 6-week cycle, but still try to treat those Walmart trips with the ability to get enough for 6 weeks while you're in there. Okay. Cynthia says, I'm overdoing it if I'm buying a Sunday paper for each member of the family and getting 4, or should I be getting less and have 1 computer that I can print from? Cynthia, it's up to you. I feel personally in getting 4 inserts, or for me that would be 6 inserts, that the time that it takes just isn't really worth it for us. In our area, our inserts don't even get, every coupon that's out there. So a lot of times, by the time I pull my shopping list, you may not know this, but the shopping list on Southern Savers, if you've told the system what city you live in and what paper you get, then your shopping list is completely tailored to your paper. And the minute I hit that shopping list and I see all the coupons that disappear because my paper didn't have them, it gets really depressing to have bought 4 papers and now I may have 5 coupons to use out of each one of them versus the 25 if I had lived in another city with a bigger paper. So that's the hard part with getting a ton of papers, especially just depending on where you live. For us, I found that just having 2 papers was plenty because most of the coupons that I ended up using on a normal trip were printables. So sticking with, printing 2 every time you're allowed them from the computer that you have, you're still going to end up with 4 total on that one, having 2 from the computer and 2 from inserts. It's really still 1 per person, but you can kind of go how you want. It's really, for me, it's a time saver, and that's why I wouldn't do 4 inserts. But everybody's different. And I've been around on this a long enough time to where I'm out of the phase of, oh, it's a crazy good deal and I have to drop what I'm doing and I have to go get it right now. Out of that phase. I've been out of that phase for like 4 years because I know that we're going to see deals like that come along again. And if I have enough shampoo in the pantry, I'm not going to go and drive clear across town to get 1 bottle of free shampoo. I'll just wait until the next time we're in a drugstore, and there will be a pretty similar deal to grab that too. So the coupons kind of line up with the same theory. It's about making this work for your family and not just going crazy with time-wise. If I switch to buy low, I'd have to start over on the whole 6-week cycle. What you'd really do, Diva, is I switch to buy low. Let's say I've always been shopping Publix or any store for that matter. I want to switch which store I'm shopping at. Then today I say, okay, we're going to be now a buy low family. I'm going to look at the list of what's on sale at buy low on Southern Savers, and maybe some of those items you did just buy 2 weeks ago. So those particular items, go in and get enough of those items to make sure you still have 6 weeks worth from today. Because you just bought them 2 weeks ago, you may have used 1 or 2 of them. So let's grab 1 or 2 of those items that were really already stocked on. And let's grab 6 weeks of anything that I didn't grab recently in Publix. And then we'll continue to do that until a few more weeks have gone by and we're now fully on a buy low cycle. But we just won't get as much for the first couple of weeks as we switch stores. And we see the overlap between what they had on sale a couple of weeks ago and what buy low has on sale right now. Hopefully that helps explain it. Sometimes Southern Savers will list something that's on sale, but my local store it isn't. Is your list mostly regional specific? Typically, for the main ad section, they should all line up perfectly. There aren't a lot of regional variations for most of our major grocery ads. What's going to end up having some regional variation to it is the unadvertised deals list, which Buy Low and Kroger and Ingles and Publix, all of those stores have unadvertised lists to them. And some of that can be very store specific or region specific versus others. And the problem there is that a store manager may think that a deal is super awesome and order a ton of it, and now the deal is over, but he still has a ton left. So they continue the BOGO deal longer. There's no way for me to know that when I'm walking the store, that this is a regional deal or a store-specific deal, so I have to type them all in and just hope that you can find them in your area. And hopefully you will. Now, I know some stores may not have them marked. Kroger and Harris Teeter, for example, may never be marked in your store. But if you trust me and you take an unadvertised deal up and you get a price match, or just get them to check the price on it, 99% of the time in a Harris Teeter and a Kroger, it will ring up the sale price that I told you it would be. Buy Lows and Publix, those can be regionals, with Buy Low being the larger one that tends to be to where it might be this store is having a BOGO sale that this store isn't. So the buy one, get ones in buy low are probably the most regional on the list, where the rest of the list is not. The rest of the list should match up pretty well because they're all just price lock deals that are going to be that price for the next 6 weeks. But hopefully that long answer kind of explained it to you. It's really just that there's not a huge way for something to be glaring as being regional versus being the entire store when we walk for unadvertised deals. Any idea if at Rite Aid I can pay with a plus up reward and earn a plus up reward in the same transaction? Yes, you can. The tricky part, I can't use today's plus up rewards until 24 hours from today. I can't use them until tomorrow. But if I have plus up rewards that I earned last week and I'm coming in to get the great cosmetic deal this week or whatever you're grabbing in Rite Aid, I can use last week's plus up rewards to pay for this week's deals. Because in all honesty, Rite Aid was not creative and they stole CVS Extra Care Bucks and renamed it. It is CVS. So you can go into Rite Aid, you use those plus up rewards like currency. I can pay with store coupons, I can use manufacturer's coupons, and then give them, let them take all those plus up rewards off last, and then I'll still earn more plus up rewards to use on my next trip. That's what makes the drugstore so fun. Is it worth driving 40 miles to shop at Kroger? No. That didn't take much thought. I am not a huge Kroger fan. Now, Kelly, I don't know where you live. Kroger's in Nashville, Tennessee still double coupons, but no other Kroger's double coupons. And so that's the tricky part. I would rather go to a store that does. If you have a Publix or a Bi-Lo, Harris Teeter, Lowe's Foods, there's lots of options that double coupons on a regular basis. I would go there over a Kroger. Kroger does run mega events that can have some fun free items, but it's usually only maybe like 5 or 6 things in the whole store that are super, super good prices. And driving 40 minutes or 40 miles for that is totally not worth it. So I wouldn't. But I'm also not a huge Kroger fan since they stopped doubling. Let's see. Where did you say you can enter a zip code for coupons that are in your paper or your area? So Cynthia, when you're on Southern Savers at the very top of the site, you'll see a green bar that tells you to create an account or log in. Do that. And if you've never created an account, when you do it, it's going to ask you what newspaper you get and what stores you shop at. If you've already created an account, then over in the right-hand corner, you should see your name. You'll be logged in and your name will be in that top right-hand corner. Hover over your name and a drop-down will show that says profile, and click on your profile. And under your profile, you can select what newspaper you have and what stores you shop at, and that tailors your shopping list directly to your newspaper. And if your newspaper isn't listed, just pick one that's the closest to you. Those are done by volunteers, and we actually just added 3 new papers this week to the database, so really excited. I think we have almost 30 papers that are sent to us by volunteers every single week, and we get them into the database. If you want another city to be covered, you can email me, and we'll gladly show you how you can volunteer. That's really the only way for me to have all those variations is for folks to send them in. But that's how you're going to do it, under profile, which is in the top right-hand corner of your screen on Southern Savers. When we had free Angel Soft tissues at Bi-Lo the other week, I noticed all the Bi-Los in my city in Augusta had empty shelves. Do they sometimes take things off the shelves when they end up being free like that? Michelle, I've heard of some store managers doing that. It honestly doesn't make any sense because they're selling product. They're going to get reimbursed for the sale price from the manufacturer. They get reimbursed from the coupon. They're out the doubling of the coupon, but I guess they could panic in that too. What I would ask them to do is just to give you a rain check. If you're ever in there, they're completely out of it, give them a rain, get them to give you a rain check. And now whenever they do restock the shelves, you can get it, and they won't have cleared the shelves. I will tell you, in my store, the same thing happened. I really think it's just because folks came in and just wiped them out really fast on the product. And I was noticing last week when I walked my Bi-Lo for extra deals, that they still didn't have any Angel Soft on the shelf, and the sale was over. So that leads me to believe that it wasn't that they pulled it, because they would have put it right back when the sale was over. It was really that in my area anyway, folks just went a little crazy, and I'm not too far from you. I'm in Columbia. So it was probably just a whole bunch of crazy people that went a little on the insane side on facial tissue being free. Okay, I think we might be. Brittany asks, I don't normally shop at drugstores, CVS or Walgreens. Hands down, CVS. I don't even have to ponder that one either. CVS is so much easier to understand, so many less quirks than Walgreens, and their cashiers are amazing. So as you try to figure out CVS cashiers are going to hold your hand. So start small, buy one thing, get a reward, use that to buy another one thing, get a reward until it kind of clicks. Figure CVS out greatly, and then you can go to Walgreens, but don't try to go to Walgreens brand new. You might cry. I did a long time ago. Okay, I think we hit all the questions. I hope I didn't miss anybody since I didn't have the normal Q&A side of things that kind of makes questions disappear, but I tried really hard to kind of go in order. And we're right at 9:30. I don't know that we even hit everything that I was going to talk about stockpiling-wise, but we hit most of it. I will say one thing that you can ask for Christmas, if you're kind of wanting to focus on rotation a little bit, which can be a tricky one with food. If you've got a good-sized pantry, you're buying lots of canned goods, how do I make sure that I'm not using the new stuff before I use the old stuff? I would go in and ask for some pantry they're called can solidators. They sell them on Amazon, and you put the new stuff in on the top and they roll, and they put the old stuff in down the bottom. And we've used that for most of our canned vegetables, canned tomatoes, things like that. And it's perfect. You can get a ton in one spot, but you also always know that you're pulling from the bottom and getting the oldest one that's on the shelf versus the newest one that you just put in. So getting a few of those for boxed items, you're always going to stock your pantry backwards. I'm not going to put the new boxes right in front. I put the new boxes in the back, and I push the boxes to the front that are the oldest, and getting in that habit. So as I think it was Diva who even asked a question about keeping bugs out of your pantry, rotating your pantry is a huge way to help you with that. Always making sure that we're using the oldest and saving the newest for the last section of that. Well, that was everything I had, I'm pretty sure. If you here's one more question. I've heard that there are now going to be different ads for the new Hometown Bilo and the old Bilo. Is this true? Yes, Cassie. Hometown Bilos are kind of what they did with the old Harveys. They made them their own little chains, and they are different ads, but you will see the fuel perk and the bonus like the bonus card deals that are on Price Lock. Those items, they're going to be the same across the board versus some of the kind of loss leaders in the Hometown Bilos are going to be different than the main Bilo stores. There aren't a lot of Hometown Bilos, and that's a tricky one. I've gotten so many emails from folks asking me to cover them, and Harvey's. It's really hard for me to cover a store that's only in like 20 areas. First off, to get an ad is tricky because I don't have one near me. But second, it's just that it's not helping a ton of people. So it takes about 4 hours to make a list for Southern Savers. I mean, not there. It's like back-end information. But to do that for just 20 stores sometimes isn't really worth the time. So I can't promise that I will make a Hometown Bilo list anytime soon. But hopefully the key items on the Bilo list will still match in when you head to your store to get the items that you need. Berlin Lady says, Kroger's in my area have stopped doubling just this year, and there are no other big stores to shop at other than Walmart. Any suggestions with Walmart? That would be one where you use their savings catcher or price match at the register. If you still only have a Kroger or a Walmart, I'd still probably be a Kroger girl. I wouldn't be happy about it, but I'd be a Kroger girl just because they are going to put things on sale. Walmart doesn't have sales. That's not how Walmart works. It's everyday low prices that aren't very good. So I'm going to go in and at least buy what's on sale at Kroger. Hopefully with a mega event, I'm going to get that instant savings off as well, and I'm going to use a coupon. So it's going to be Kroger mega events where you're going to want to go crazy. But thankfully, Kroger tends to run a mega event at least 2 weeks out of a month. There is a mega event, so that's probably what I would do. I just wouldn't have the doubles with it, but you're still going to get better deals than you would get in Walmart. Okay, and Cynthia looked it up. The pantry organizer right now that's on Amazon, costs about $26. What I would do also is wait. We always see it go on sale around Black Friday from the organization that sells them, which is called Thrive. And I post a link every Black Friday, but we can usually get the Consolidator for about $18 if you're really, really wanting one. So hold tight for like 2 months and then ask for some for Christmas and give them the link so that they can have the best deal. Well, we are set. I think we got everyone's questions, and it was a lot of fun tonight, so hopefully this helped some of you guys. We are not going to have a hangout next week. I'm actually doing a workshop in Atlanta, and I can't be in a church and online at the same time. And then following Monday is Labor Day. So we're going to take 2 weeks off, which is pretty rare, but then we'll be back on for every Monday after Labor Day through September. So just, enjoy 2 weeks off, and we will see you guys in a couple weeks. Same time, same place.